So if you're watching this, we set up a little situation, a scenario, if you will, for our typical Aguadilla arrival push. The camera is focused on not a default setting or even a preferential setting. It's centered so it shows the range and the most conducive angle to seeing what the sequence looks like. So without seeing the strips, you see we have amplite 7106 on Route 4 and amplite 7110 also on Route 4. We haven't touched them yet. We haven't descended them yet. Night cargo 7114, we have not got the call for the handoff yet. They are relatively slow tonight. They're on number 636 to Barinkin. And looks like we have FedEx 57. We'll be approaching from the northwest. You can't quite see it on the camera yet, but you will. And rest assured that it looks like, all things considered, as FedEx 57 is in a tie situation with both of the amplites. So that'll be the most interesting thing. So the things to keep in mind here is when you look at the report for the time, if you look at the bottom right of the screen, we use our display utility button function, if you will, and we get a time for the airport. And there we go, we have one, 2206 for the amplite 7106, company, amplite 7110, 2208, and though you can't see FedEx 57 heavy, 2208, dead tide. And for good measure, night cargo 7114, 2221. Now, they're not a factor. And since this is a scenario, we could make them a factor. We could increase the speed. As you see, I am going to do that and see if that does anything. We'll increase their speed a couple knots and see how that goes. So let's get this started. My thoughts exactly, not to become ill with a case of Jeditis, but I'm thinking that FedEx is conducive to be number one. Why? Because they are going to execute the approach, RNAV runway 8 approach, whether they execute it from Aqaba or ODES, it doesn't matter. What I would like to see here is FedEx 57 be first because they are my instrument approach player. Amplite 7106 and Amplite 7110, they will see the field. Chances are they have a lot better chance of seeing that heavy Boeing 767 as they make their way on the RNAV approach, as opposed to FedEx falling behind both the amplites, who we are treating them like a pair, and have to shoot an instrument approach while these aircraft are sequenced in front. It's a lot easier to have an aircraft that will conduct a visual approach into Aguadilla follow an aircraft on an instrument approach. Also, too, we have to consider wake turbulence, which we will, but if the aircraft is instructed to follow the FedEx 57, so both those amplites are going to follow FedEx 57, then you see how things work out relatively naturally, and that's what we were looking for. So let's get amplite 7106 down, because I see, and you cannot yet, that FedEx 57 is descending to 7,000. So I'm going to start amplite 7106 to 7,000, because eventually, when I get control of FedEx 57, even though I already have track control, we can pretend I already took the handoff, I'll descend them to 3,000 or even lower and automatically clear them for the approach. So amplite 7106, descend and maintain 7,000, Aguadilla altimeter 3000. Down to 7, amplite 7106. And what you're seeing me enter is the command, and as you see, I'll follow through and update that my data block. Let's get you some altimeters going here. Okay. Excellent. So let me get the altimeters visible to you. Right around here. There you go. And now you see everything. So what are we working with here? I'm going to start amplite 7110 down as well. Amplite 7110 is to maintain 7,000, the Brinken altimeter, 3000. So as you see, we are going to do that very so gingerly there. We'll descend them at a 1 rate and obviously assign it. Now I have to play both the role of the pilot and the controller here. So things are looking good here. Now here's what I'm thinking. FedEx 57 is going to conduct the RNAV runway approach straight in. I anticipate even if R6 were to assign that aircraft direct Aqaba, I will get control, as I kind of expressed that my plan would, that's how it's going to fall into play. But what I need to do is I can't leave these aircraft on Route 4 for much longer, because I need to get them on a downwind heading, because they are going to follow an aircraft inbound from the northwest, kind of set up for a straight in approach. So a downwind spaced far enough away from the Brinken class Delta, far enough away from FedEx 57 Heavy's lateral protected airspace, a speed at which they will be able to see FedEx, turn, and perform a suitable traffic pattern. That is my goal, and that's what I would like to happen. Now, we have the ability of being here in the lab and having that work to our favor through not having to deal with real life conditions. This is as real as we can make it, and we will do our best to do so. So we're gonna get the AM flights descending down. So my plan is to have those aircraft, as you see, they are right around Joshi, Abeam, Ponce. This is a perfect opportunity to see what a 290 heading is going to look like for a downwind. So without further ado, AM flight 7106, turn left heading 290. So AM flight 7106, heading 290, AM flight 7106. So you see how we're going to type that in there, heading 290, and as well with the AM flight 7110, AM flight 7110, vector downwind, turn left heading 290. As you see, I kind of gave the cause for the vector for that one, and I should have done that for the AM flight 7106, but I did not. But that's okay. So let's update the scratch pad accordingly. 290 heading. And there we go. So let's take a look and see what that looks like. And looking forward to that. As you see, we have a little bit of overtake here, not too great, because when these aircraft start playing by the same rules, as they pair up into the same altitude stratum, I don't see that being much of a problem. We could pretend that we took the handoff on night cargo 7114, and since they are going nowhere fast, I could even think about putting night cargo 7114 behind FedEx and keeping these guys on the downwind, because as you remember, we sped them up a little bit and now they're more of a player. So you can see on the video screen the vector length, the 10-minute vector length of FedEx 57 Heavy. So let's pretend that we took the handoff, even though you can't see them yet, and FedEx 57 Heavy checked in and with information Bravo at Aguadilla, which is fine. Bravo sounds good, right? FedEx 57 Heavy San Juan Center, descend and maintain 3000, expect RNAV, runway to approach. So good, see? So I called them heavy because I am providing approach control services to a heavy aircraft as an en route controller, and we are starting them down to 3000. We can also pretend that I got control from R6. And with that being the case, I'm also going to throw in FedEx 57 Heavy cleared direct Odez. So there they are. Cleared direct Odez. I will update the scratch pad accordingly. So when you see that, let's pretend night cargo 7114 checked on. Night cargo 7114, San Juan Center. Depart KTOC, direct Brinken, expect visual approach runway 8. Told them what to expect. Night cargo 7114, information Bravo, now current at Aguadilla, advise when you have Bravo. So let's make sure they have that. And we can see that FedEx and night cargo, FedEx is just going to sail right by night cargo, even though they are assigned lower. You see how they are cutting in. And the AM flights are on that 290 heading. Let's see what a 280 heading looks good. They're just stabbing a little too far in, as you see the vector is stabbing, bursting the bubble of the class Delta. AM flight 7106, turn left heading 280, vector downwind. So 06 heading 280, Flight 7110, turn left heading 280, vector downwind. And then heading 280, as you see, those are the commands. So this is also, might be a crash course in remote pilot operating. And you don't see the FedEx yet, but that's okay, you will. So if all goes to plan, night cargo falls behind FedEx. So, and that sounds good. Now we know it's speed control. We have to play by certain rules. Props, 150 knots within 20 flying miles of the airport. They are not quite within 20 miles yet. They're still far away. They're about 32 miles out, but I can go down to 170. So I'm gonna reduce the trailing aircraft first and pair these guys up to 170. Flight 7110, reduce speed to 170. So 170, Flight 7106, reduce speed to 170. There we go. So those are in. We'll see what that looks like. Now they're both playing by the same rules and they are going nowhere fast. You see how that 280 heading worked out? And let me update the scratch pad accordingly. As you see, sometimes this can get a little tedious, but that's okay. 280 heading. There we go. They're at 7,000. Let's pull up our MVA map, and we cannot go any lower in that area. If you see, there's a 6,600 kind of being blocked by the Flight 7106. But now you see it, 6,600 right there. And there's the FedEx. You can start seeing them now. And if I wanted to have FedEx understand the gravity of the situation, FedEx 57 Heavy maintain maximum forward speed for sequence or something like that effect. They're descending at 2,000 feet a minute, and they're gonna get a little close to night cargo. So I'm gonna turn night cargo to the south a little bit. Night cargo 7114, and turn right heading 150, vector traffic. So, get them turned. And they're going to be requesting lower. Night cargo usually will. And since they are going to be descending, and now that they are laterally separated, and we can use the decision tool to prove that, little bubble there, I am going to start night cargo down. I'm going to give them 4,000. So night cargo 7114 is going to maintain 4,000. And we assign it. Hopefully they will see that wonderful heavy 767 cruise on by. And you see that the aircraft on downwind are doing just fine. Okay, maybe that 150 heading might have been a little extreme. Maybe a 140 heading, night cargo 7114, turn left, heading 140, vector sequence. Maybe a little extreme, but you know, at this range, and the range that you will be working with on your R2 and 8 setting, you will have to experiment a little bit. We'll make sure we're geared up to give a cautionary wake turbulence advisory. And we still can't go any lower with our amp plates. They are going nowhere fast. They're as slow as they can. If we can get them down to 150, we know that they're going to be playing by the same rules as an night cargo 7114, because the best they can probably pedal is 150. They might even be going a little fast for a short. So I'm not too particular, but it's working out with the scenario. So we have lateral separation with FedEx 57 Heavy. They are descending at a good rate at 3,000. Let's take a look at how they're descending. About 4,000 feet a minute. That is not unheard of for a cargo 767. We have night cargo going nowhere fast, and their plan is to keep FedEx there. So with that being said, let's slow down night cargo because we plan on using as little separation as we need, no more than we need to keep this pattern tight. So night cargo 714, reduce speed to 170. So velocity 170. Let's see how that looks. Now, nothing's stopping me from clearing FedEx for the approach. So I'm going to do that. They're number one. And you can argue that maybe even if Flight 7106 and Flight 7110, and sometimes they will be known to do this, they're going to call the field in sight, especially if it's a nice day out at Aguadilla, and you're going to be tempted to clear them for the visual approach. But just recall that if you can see the trackball, they are going to execute a standard traffic pattern. They're going to go on downwind, base, and turn to final. All in front of this aircraft? I don't think so. With the speeds and the way everything's working out, I don't think that's prudent. Now at 20 miles out, I want to start thinking about maybe even getting everybody playing by the same rules at 150, but we're not going to do that yet. Let's focus on FedEx. FedEx 57 heavy. Cross Aqaba at or above 3,000. Correction, cross Odez at or above 3,000. Cleared RNAV, runway to approach. Here we go. We put the approach on. Let's put the command in. And you see how night cargo is descending. And my plan with night cargo is to turn them with FedEx and keep these guys on downwind. I just got to make sure that I don't go any lower, because look, Amplite 7106 is going to be eligible for lower here, and they probably want it. If not, they're discussing that already. So, yeah. Night cargo. Let's give traffic. Let's let these two aircraft know about each other. FedEx 57 heavy traffic 2 o'clock, 8 miles southeast bound. Shorts 36 4,000. Night cargo 7114 traffic 9 o'clock, 8 miles southeast bound. Heavy Boeing 767 leaving 4,500. That gears them up to start looking for the FedEx. We're gonna give Amplite 7106 lower here. Same thing with Amplite 7110 when we can. Now they're co-altitude. So we can at least go down to 5 to keep things positive, because we don't know how this will play out. We have a pretty good idea. Our plan's working pretty well. These guys are at the same speed. So let's just wait. No rush. And it's a slow process. We're almost 20 minutes into this and nothing has happened yet. It's not as fast paced as the approach control environment, where you're dealing with a smaller range of airspace. Also, you're dealing with vectoring, in the sense of vectoring for ILS approaches and RNAV approaches. Here we can't really do that. The best thing we kind of do is work around, is get aircraft vectored for the visual approach, but we can't outright do it because of the limitations in Chapter 5. So we work with the approach outlines in Chapter 4. So look, Amplite 7106, why not give them 5,000? Amplite 7106 to 75,000. Down to 5,000, Amplite 7106, good. Now, you see how they are both crawling in on the same spot? Let's get Amplite, let's get them back on that 140 heading. Well, or even a 130 heading, because I don't think I ever updated that. You see how that sometimes is the case. So let's go Amplite, or night cargo 7114. Fly heading 130. So you see that bubble there. You see the FedEx is stopped at 3,000 because the computer is not, he's not quite at Odez yet. So other things to keep in mind, making sure everybody has the ATIS code. We can pretend that everybody did a good check-in with Bravo. Night cargo has Bravo, we can verify, or maybe even R6 verify that FedEx 57 Heavy had Bravo, which is always very helpful. And our plan here is, as soon as this aircraft stabs in, now you're also seeing here that maybe I did get a case of jetitis, because these guys might have been able, but it would have been too close for comfort. So we've committed to our plan and we're going to stick to it. And it might be a longer downwind than they'd like. So let's slow them down. They're going nowhere fast. Amplite 7106, reduce speed to 150. Then descend and maintain 5,000 or something like that, right? Simultaneous speed reduction, and while the aircraft is conducting a change of altitude, we should determine what we want first, but they're almost leveled off anyways. And I didn't reduce the trailing aircraft first, forgive me, but they are 1,000, they're like 2,000 feet above. So Amplite 7110, reduce speed to 150. And let's get night cargo looking for FedEx. Night cargo 7114, caution, wake turbulence. 8 miles behind a heavy Boeing 767 on the RNAV runway at approach. And Night Cargo 7114, previously called traffic, 9 o'clock, 8 miles southeastbound, heavy Boeing 767. Plan on following that aircraft, report the traffic in sight. You know, something like that. Get them looking for it. And you see how they're just going to fall right in line. We just don't want them to go any farther southeast than the extended runway center line. Same thing with these guys. Let's get AM flight 7110 down to 6,000 here shortly, keeping everybody positively separated. And even see how they're not perfectly falling in line. So we have to be careful for if we're when we turn these aircraft. And you see how they're slowing down. FedEx is still keeping the speed in. We could probably anticipate that they will slow down a little bit more. But yet again, we are dealing with the computer. Let's see if that does the trick here. And our key is here is to have them follow that aircraft, because they may not see the field yet. So we have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and now we go down to 6,000. AM flight 7110, descend, maintain, 6,000. Down to 6,000, AM flight 7110. There's that. Okay, so we're sitting pretty nice here. Everything's working out fine. Now the thing is, we might want to have them stab in a little bit, because we don't want them going any farther south, so we know that they're going to fall right behind FedEx. When FedEx hits ODES, we want them going there. So maybe just a little bit, but we are kind of running out of time with that because we don't want them to go too far southeast of that extended center line. I'll pull up the fixes here and you can probably see them. ODES is kind of convoluted, but that's okay. There might even be a chance that they see the heavy Boeing 767 and they'll follow them. But we don't know that yet. We could even pretend that AM flight wouldn't need, or Night Cargo wouldn't even be going that fast. There they are, they're slowing down. FedEx is still not quite at final approach speed yet. Everybody's positively separated, best we can hope for right now. And you see the distance between, so let's pull up a display function separation, and let's get these two guys in our list, and I'll bring it over here so you see the usefulness of your tools. We have 11 miles. That is plenty of time for FedEx to taxi off the runway and have Night Cargo, plus accounting for the wake turbulence. So let's get Night Cargo turned, since they're extremely slow and they're slowing down, and FedEx is just about at ODES. Let's get them turning on an inbound heading. So Night Cargo 7114, turn left heading 080. Night Cargo 7114 heading to 8080. Okay. Night Cargo 7114, traffic 12 o'clock, 8 miles opposite direction, Metroliner 5000. AM flight 7106, traffic 12 o'clock, 8 miles opposite direction, shorts 4000. And I bet, if I was a betting man, if it's a nice night at Aguadilla, they see the FedEx. FedEx 57 Heavy, radar service terminated, contact Aguadilla Tower 124.9 or 5. There we go, taking care of that. And you see how that 80 heading kind of had them fall in. They're slowed down. They're gonna have to slow down, but that's okay. We'll build in some spacing for that. Night Cargo 7114, descend maintain 3000. Down 3000, Night Cargo 7114. Night Cargo 7114, previously called traffic, 12 o'clock, 10 miles, turning eastbound, heavy Boeing 767, 3000 on the RNAV runway 8. Traffic in sight, Night Cargo 7114, because chances are to see it. Night Cargo 7114, caution wake turbulence, 9 miles in trail to a heavy Boeing 767, follow that traffic, cleared visual approach, runway 8. And now we can coordinate with Aguadilla Tower accordingly. Aguadilla R8 position, Aguadilla. 5 miles, actually let's be exact here. Still 2-3 miles away. So we could even wait on that, or we can let them know. Let's just do it now. 2-3 miles southeast of the field. Night cargo 7114 following FedEx 57 heavy visual approach runway 8. And they would say accordingly, you know, their initials. Now, you see how our downwind kind of got a little funky there with the angles, and it's going to be tough for an AM Flight 7106 to truly follow, but that's okay. That happens. It's not a perfect world. AM Flight 7106 descend and maintain 4,000. Down to 4,000. AM Flight 7106, so it's okay. We'll build in a little bit of spacing there, and actually we can turn them out to the southwest. AM Flight 7106, vector spacing, turn left heading 250. Heading 250. Same. Now you see, AM Flight 7110 is looking nice with the bubbles, so we just need to get them going southwest a little bit. And now, night cargo 7114, radar service terminated, contact Aguadilla Tower 124.905, good night. See how that worked out? Now, we'll get that 250 to give a little bit of breathing room to time up a nice base turn and then follow the AM flight, or night cargo. AM Flight 7106, previously called traffic, 3 o'clock, 1 mile, opposite direction, shorts, 2,000. And they probably don't see him yet, but night cargo 7106, descend and maintain 3,000, because look, the aircraft, night cargo is leaving. Well, they're out of 2,000. AM Flight 7110, descend and maintain 4,000. AM Flight 7110 down to 4,000. Nice. Now, I will not want to be too late on this base turn, because I'll have 5 miles and the aircraft will start slowing down, start performing the same relatively, I guess, on final. So I don't want to be too late. Actually, I'm probably going to do that right now. Let's see how it plays out. AM Flight 7106, turn right, heading 360, vector base. Perfect. Even with that turn, they'll start turning north. I just got to make sure I watch it with this, but they're down to 3,000 and update my data tag accordingly. Let's take out the bubble. Still 10 miles between FedEx and night cargo. Play enough. Let's see how many miles we have between AM Flight 7106 and 14. We only have 6 miles. AM Flight 7106. Well, let's just keep seeing. AM Flight 7106, reduce to slowest practical speed. So let's just say they pull it back to say maybe 130. AM Flight 7106, traffic, 2 o'clock, 6 miles, same direction, shorts, 2,000 on the approach, or something like that. AM Flight 7106, we can rest assured they have traffic in sight. AM Flight 7106, follow the shorts, clear visual approach, runway 8. So you see how that works out? They're gonna follow them. AM Flight 7110, company traffic, 1 o'clock, 5 miles, turning eastbound, company Metroliner, 3,000. Looking for company AM Flight 7110, and they would probably even see it. I would imagine that they would at that point. We're waiting for the downtime on FedEx. Now let's call for a position report. 19 miles out. Aguadilla R8, position. Aguadilla. 190 miles southwest of the field. AM Flight 7106, visual approach runway 8. Give our initials. Let's just update the scratch pad here. They're no longer on headings here. And we're gonna time up this base yet again. And they're going fast. So let's slow AM Flight 7110 down to as slow as practical. AM Flight 7110, reduce speed to as slow as practical. Slow as practical. see FedEx coast here. It won't coast, it'll coast a little bit later as opposed to upstairs. And now, here we go. Let's see the distance we have. Let's clear out our separation list here. And let's get a new pair going between these two fellas. 4 miles. Let's just wait a little longer. But we can time in the base turn. So I am flight 7110, turn right heading 360, vector base. Aguadilla, or R8 Aguadilla, FedEx 57, heavy on the ground. Thank you. My cargo's with the tower. Let's get rid of Amflight 7106. Amflight 7106, radar service terminated. Contact Aguadilla Tower 124.9 or 5. Good night. See how the speeds worked out? Not gaining too much on the shorts. See how that 360 heading is working, 5.5. Now let's get him down. Flight 7110 to 718, 3000. See, gotta stay on it. And we're gonna get ready to turn them, have them looking for traffic. Flight 7110, previously called traffic. 2 o'clock, 6 miles, eastbound, company Metroliner, 2000. Flight 7110, traffic in sight. Flight 7110, follow the company Metroliner, clear visual approach runway 8. See here. Update the data tag. And there you go. You see how we have them all lined up there? Not bad at all. Only thing we have to do is wait for the downtimes. And that's basically it. Give a position report. Let's do that. Aguadilla, R8 position. Aguadilla. 13 miles southeast of the field, following Amflight 7106, Amflight 7110, visual approach runway 8. Give your initials, and they might even give you the downtime. On night cargo 7114, which is good. If that's the case, if not, or maybe a landing assured. And that's really it, guys. So I hope this was useful. So you guys have a good time, good day. And thanks for spending it with me. All right, see you.